the lead person who is leading the talk, as well as the other presenters, to restrict to the time. That will be helpful to finish all presentation before the validity session. So I request all your cooperation in this line. So this session is on nutraceutical, pharmaceutical and cosmeceuticals. So before proceeding into the actual lead talk, I'd like to know how many of the oral presentations are available. Let me read and respond whether you are here or not. The first talk is Evaluation of Antioxidant Properties and Total Phenolic Contents by Hemalda. Okay. So, Screening and Identification of Anti-ESBL Bacterial Compound by Abdul Aziz. There? No. Next is Antioxidant and Antibacterial Activity of Icobillin Protein from Red Seaweeds by Sudhakar. Okay. Fourth one, Antifungal and Antibacterial Activity of Heterocystis by Maladi. No. Isolation, Purification and Characterization of Pharmaceutical, Edumalai. No. Anti-diabetic activity of selected seaweeds, Reka. So we have only 2 presentations, oral presentations, that's available. So now let's start with this session by a lead talk. Okay, what should we do? Okay, there is.
So interestingly, the morning speakers will have to deliver more. All people sitting opposite side will be more fresh and they will expect more. First thing. And second thing, Dr. Srinivasa Rao, when he called me, said, "Sir, somebody is not coming, why don't you talk about nutraceuticals also?" He said, "I will try to manage." Yesterday, after saying all these deliberations and also seeing today's thing, I thought I can modify. Yesterday, my roommate, he had a little suffering because I had to work till 12 o'clock to change the slides. Of course, I was also working on another project which is to be submitted today, that is on land science international collaborative project, that is to do with direct agriculture. So we are submitting, I have to submit those things. So once that finished, it was almost 12:30, something like that. I finished. I modified everything, and today morning again there was a request, why don't you talk about nutraceutical, because the other one is not turned up. So it's fine, but the problem is I have all these other slides in my laptop I have to pull out. Instead of pulling out, I thought I can try to give whatever information I can from my side through the same slides. So I thought for this, still I find this title relevant. I thought I can modify these slides, but of course I have not modified the slide, most of the slides. I retained most of the slides, whatever I had in this presentation. One thing. And also still I find it is relevant more because all people we were talking about seaweeds particularly wonderful, and we are talking about algae nicely. But we have not touched upon the area of this carbon sequestration and climate change so far. It's better still I talk. And you know, India is growing, and the first day also we heard this, India is growing, the world is growing in terms of population, and the world is expected to provide good amount of sophistication to the people in terms of good life. So all governments vie for providing good life, all people expect good life, everybody wants sophistication, and as Dr. Subbarao said, and as others said, people always prefer to sit inside air-conditioned rooms. They want to work happily. They don't want to go visit the fields. And I am going to talk about some of the experience in the field as well as laboratory, which has given some kind of turning points for us to work only in the fields. So we know this, and as part of providing sophistication, the world governments and people are expected to provide good amount of energy for the people to live in. That is more important requirement. So the governments, all the state governments, central government, everybody is talking about energy production. Energy. We talk of this energy, that energy, thermoelectric to everything. Now we talk about thermal energy, we talk about hydro energy, we talk about other kind of nuclear energy. There are against, far, so many things. But still the world is looking forward for energy because India being a growing country or developing country is expected to provide more energy for the rural areas and also for people who are expecting good life. That is the most important thing. India is at crossroads, I would say, purely because we have not gone to the level of the developed countries, we are not primitives as other countries. So we are at the crossroads and we can take wonderful decisions now. If we take, there's a possibility India can touch heights and also can deliver a lot in terms of scientific advancements. And everything rests in the hands of the third generation. Yesterday somebody observed the third generation people sitting behind the third or fourth rows. So the fourth row, fifth row, sixth row, seventh row, eighth row, ninth row, 10th rows carries more responsibility in providing solutions to the country than the first, third row, 3 rows. Because the graying and the grade, all hats may find difficulty. Of course, they can guide people, but people sitting in the rear end can do a lot of work. So in the name of economic development, the world is forced to patients to newer conditioners, and we want the old computers to new sleek computers. Of course, everywhere there is a development. You could see the old mobile to Androids, like that, and old engine to new power engines, old cars to new cars, and old motorcycles to new motorcycle, and old buses to sophisticated buses. That means air conditioned, sophisticated buses. We expect all kind of luxury. And from this primitive stage to we have come to the level of sophistication. The so-called sophistication or so-called chaos. It's called chaos, so we would say. So we have come to a chaotic stage. We do not know. We cannot go back to the level of what our ancestors were. Now we have to move forward. From here we have to move towards a better life. How to provide better life is the most important requirement the world is talking about, the scientists are talking about, planners are talking about, policymakers are talking about, but still we are mired with the kind of problems. We know the carbon that takes. So all our sophistication in the name of better vehicles and in terms of better energy production, better facility production, all these things, the world is producing good amount of carbon dioxide. The air is polluted, water is polluted, our environment is polluted, and everything is polluted around us. And even we know as Indians, our mentality is something very good. We always keep our homes clean and keep our streets dirty. So this is a very good thing. Go to European countries, the houses will be fine, but the public places will be wonderful. You love to live in the public place. But in our conditions, nobody prefers to live in the public place. That's the difference. So I'm giving a big example, but ultimately this leads, you might have heard, and people and everywhere people talk about the global warming, the heating up of the globe. We were talking about this. So as a result, what happened? The temperature goes up, our carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere goes up. The IPCC report says for a period of years, you can see this. The first report, second report, third report, fourth report, even day before yesterday also there was a still kind of big term from the world organizations to reduce the carbon emission. They talk about carbon taxing, the carbon policies, the world are talking about carbon policies. We are in the position to reduce the carbon. So, and the temperature. The result is global warming, the result is the temperature increase. We are already experiencing that. Next. And the third is ocean sequestration. It is another way of sequestering. Of course, it has something to do with this thing, and where the ocean is supposed to carry good amount of carbon dioxide, take good amount of carbon dioxide. That's why you could see a lot of algal growth also in that. The phytoplankton, zooplanktons, the chain, the food chain, the niche that play a wonderful role in taking this carbon dioxide to the deeper levels. The phytoplanktons capture the carbon dioxide. Just the vast area of the ocean, they take good amount of carbon dioxide, they convert into food, it goes to the trophic levels, ultimately reaches the bottom, and from the bottom it takes years. So it is normally said the water in the bottom of the ocean takes almost 2000 years to come up to the surface. So that means you have 2,000 years, at least if you capture it nicely. But nobody knows what will happen, how this will happen. But still we have more amount of carbon dioxide. We don't have, the humankind don't have any answers. We don't have any answers except few technologies what we have. And the other problem what the world faces is now we are talking about the renewable energy and we are working mostly with the coal, oil and other things which can last for a few years. Of course this said 30 years, 100 years is not the true case. That's another interesting story. If you read that, even if you ask John Benjamin who is an expert in algae, he will say wonderful thing. In 1900 it was said in just 30 years the oil will get exhausted. But still almost 100 years we are still working with oil. Like that there are a lot of theories, a lot of statistics, but none of statistics have been proven proper. But still we are running. But nobody knows when this will get exhausted. But we are also in the level of thinking what kind of alternative fuels we can think of. Why? What's that?
This program is programmed already.
Programmed?
Computer is programmed.
I just finished 5 minutes only. Do we have to restart the entire thing, system?
Programs, like yesterday also.
The insights? Yeah. So we are at the crossroads. The world is looking for us. We have to restart. If I'm right. Third generation biofuel source. The first one is seen as sugar-based ethanol, second one is lignocellulosic. Now algae is seen as the third generation biofuel source. Now there is a possibility we can do wonders. If you want to take up algae as a wonderful research subject for you, please do that and you can contribute a lot to this area of research. Why we say is purely because why algae-based biodiesel or another thing is more good purely because not only biodiesel, I would say even if you're growing algae has a lot of potential to climate is purely because you can see here it has the potential to mitigate the greenhouse gases. It's minus 180 compared to other sources, right from corn to sugarcane to switchgrass. Been studied for tolerance of carbon dioxide. And what are all the opportunities? Where all you can grow algae? You can see here almost all wastewaters, right from municipal wastewater to wastewater treatment plants to industrial wastewater to agricultural runoffs. So everything can be used, even from marine waters, alkaline lakes, forest residues. Everything can be used as a source for growing algae. And the more important thing is the wastewaters. You can use wastewater as one of the source to grow algae. Because now the traditional treatment systems what we use now don't offer the kind of solutions what is required for the treatment. So now there is a possibility you can cut out all these primary, tertiary things, effluent treatments to straight away take algae into the effluent treatment systems and try to grow algae and get your biomass out of this. So this plays a major part. If you think of growing algae, if you think of algae in mass production, you have to think of land mass and also the ocean. And the land mass, this is the area where you can think of all the wastewaters and try to produce good amount of algal biomass. And once you get the biomass, you can think of converting that into different useful products. You can see here. And the advantage of India, you can see it has good amount of sunlight and you have good amount of land space, you can do wonders with this. And of course, these are composed of the different arsenite and microalgae. And with this, I am coming to a small experiment. What we did in our laboratory, what kind of results we got. You can see here, this is the idea. We can use the sunlight and also industrial wastewaters, use different algae to get about biomass and energy out of this. So, what are the things to be addressed? Even in the abstract, I listed the requirements for us to integrate different domains in algal research. You can see one is the screening of algae, the better strains. Still the end is open. We have different laboratories are working on different algae and different laboratories working on different potential of different marine algae and freshwater algae. We do not know what algae will be able to. This is spirulina, of course, and this is a natural water body. And I had a lot of videos also, but I could not embed the videos inside this system. So the one in the bottom is a natural pond. Muttukadu Lake near Chennai, and that has good amount of spirulina. 3 months, July, August, September, you can harvest very good amount of spirulina. Naturally, you can see green waters everywhere, so you can harvest spirulina. And another thing, the Tiruvadandai, there is another temple near Chennai, I would say. Mostly the people who prefer to get married go there. That's a different story. But Tiruvadandai, somebody was talking about that. Tiruvadandai temple tank carries good 1 liter diatoms, good amount of diatoms. That means every water body has its own niche. Algal population. This is one we was very much interested. You can see spirulina almost equal to the pond cultivation. It's a constructed pond. This is the natural pond. You can see almost similar to kind of growth here. And this is the one Mutukadu backwaters. You can see near Chennai. It's full of spirulina. And ultimately, after getting the results of this small scale and laboratory scale level, we moved to the large scale cultivation. We could be able to design the ponds for the treatment-based waters and also grow algae at large scale level using carbon dioxide. So you can see the changes in the pH. This is the open pond conditions. So open environment conditions, we could be able to do it near Kadalur. And you can see the reduction in the pH and the conductivity, salinity, solids, sugars. Everywhere you can see sugar. You can see everywhere you can see. This is the first one, effluent, and the CTT. You can see the reduction. The green one was original raw effluent, and from here you can see this biomass, dissolved oxygen. Ultimately, in open condition also, we could be able to get wonderful results and also good amount of biomass. That means we are targeting two things. One is, three things I would say. One is changing the effluent quality and mitigating the carbon